Hey everyone, I'm Mine, and this is set number 76192, Avengers Endgame Final Battle from the LEGO Marvel Superheroes theme. This set contains 527 pieces, 6 minifigures, 1 big fig, and 1 microfigure, and retails for $69.99 in the US. This set was sent to me by the LEGO Group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. So the main build of the set is part of the Avengers compound. It's very much optimized for play rather than display. Like you can see there's a little missile on the side, and the building looks fine, but it doesn't look the best. So they definitely had a bit of a younger audience in mind when putting this set together. However, I don't mind that, because if a set's fun, I don't mind if it's not the prettiest, as long as it still does look good to an extent, and this does still look good. Especially from the front like this seems very complete. Not the most interesting, just a bunch of big windows, you have a satellite dish on the top, there's a little bit of debris on the side with the Avengers logo on it, and of course this giant missile launcher over here. Yeah, I think this is a fun place to display your figures, so let me show you each individual little aspect of it. On the one side, as I just mentioned, there's a giant piece of debris that has the Avengers A on it. This is embedded into this rocky base down here. I like how the rocks come up and sort of cover it up a little bit, and it can be rotated ever so slightly. Don't think it's meant to be rotated, but you have that option if you want for whatever reason. I don't really have a ton to say about it, but it's a cool inclusion. Adds some nice detail to the build. On the other side, here's this missile launcher. This uses the missile launcher design that was originally introduced in 4+ sets, I believe. But now I think it's come in a few city sets as well as other sets such as this one. But yeah, it's very simple. There's a big red button on the back, you can push down on that, and this big giant missile will shoot out. It actually shoots out with a lot of force, so you gotta be careful with that. But if you are actually properly playing with this set, you can use that to take out enemies. Oh, he just flew across my light box. Again, though, not much else to say about it. The dark blue is kind of cool. I like these sticker pieces on the side, but overall rather simple. Coming to the front of the building, there's a little sticker piece right here that represents a hand needing to be scanned. I think that is a really nice stickered part and can be useful in customs and whatnot. And of course, the door itself can be opened. On the inside here, we have a little workshop for Iron Man. There's a few different stickered blue screen pieces. You can see the first one right there. It says calculating on it. And then over on the side, we have the Nano Gauntlet for Iron Man to be able to hold the Infinity Stones. That is, of course, removable, so you can give it to him or whoever else you want. And those blue pieces on the side also have stickers on them, which might be a bit difficult to see because it's hard to get the camera in there. But yeah, there you can see the design on that one. It looks like it's just an image of the Nano Gauntlet. And it looks like it's a very similar thing on the other side, but now there's robot arms coming out adjusting the gauntlet. Over on the other side, there is a giant cage. This is a very simple build. This reminds me a lot of classic LEGO, the stuff I played with as a kid. All it is just a giant wall with these bars that cover it up. You can move it down. So if you want to imagine that the Avengers captured Thanos, you can put Thanos in there, flip it back up, and there you go. Now Thanos is in a cage. Is that accurate to anything that has ever happened in the movies? No, it's not. But is it a fun thing to play with? Yeah, it is. I do really like that. I know I would have had a ton of fun with that as a kid, so I like that that still exists for kids today getting these sets. For older fans, this does take up a big portion of this set, and while I personally don't mind it, I know a lot of other people might prefer something a little more detailed. But I don't know, I just think that's fun. And then coming up to this upper level, we have a little table right here with the Avengers logo in the middle. There is 2 silver coffee mugs as well as a coffee cup, and 3 seats for minifigures to sit in. So you can just have the Avengers sit up here and chat, I guess. There is stickered pieces of Captain Marvel and Rocket Raccoon back here as well. And there's a little weapon rack, which holds 2 guns. These are personally my favorite LEGO gun pieces because they're slightly more realistic than Star Wars blasters. They're obviously still very far from realistic, because LEGO doesn't do realistic weapons. But I feel like Star Wars blasters don't really work outside the realm of Star Wars, so it's cool to have something like this for other themes. And you get 2 of them here, which I really appreciate. And then coming up to the very top of the roof, you have that radar dish that spins, makes a lot of noise. This looks like it might be a little siren or something. And then you have a LEGO Star Wars astromech droid head right here. And that's about everything in this little Avengers compound build. It's definitely made way more for kids than for older collectors. But I don't know, this set gives me a very nostalgic feeling, so I still really like that for myself. And I think for kids, this is really excellent, because there's a lot to do here. And then the other build in the set is Ant-Man's van. And I think this is such a fun inclusion. This is a pretty iconic part of both of the Ant-Man movies as well as Avengers Endgame, and we've never gotten it in LEGO form before, so it's so cool to finally see it here. It's an overall very simple van build, but I think it's very effective. They definitely did not shrink it down very much. It feels like it's in scale with what it should be. It's got a sticker on the side that says XCon, and that's on both sides. You have little mirrors on the sides right here. Big windshield out the front, of course. And if you want to put minifigures in the van, you just have to take off the roof. Both roof pieces are removable, and you can see there's a lot of room to fit figures. One kind of weird part is there is gaps in the bottom. That's a little bit strange. I'm not sure why that's like that. But ignoring that, yeah, you could probably fit a good number of figures in here. So if you want the Avengers to all roll out in the Ant-Man van, you probably can have them do that. And I think that's really funny. There's a stickered console piece in front of the steering wheel. And then if we come to the back of the van, you can see there's some more stickers showing the windows, and there's a little ant design down here, which is really cute. But if you flip this up, there is the quantum tunnel in the back of the van. That is also a stickered part, but it's another really, really cool one. Obviously, it's a good callback to the movie. Yeah, I really, really like that. As a whole, this build is, again, very simple, mostly just bricks stacked on top of bricks. No, like, complex building techniques or anything used anywhere. But it's an iconic part of the MCU, and it's something we've never gotten in LEGO form before, and it's something I'm very happy to get, so overall I'm a very big fan of this one. This is probably my favorite part of the set, funnily enough. But I think that's about it for the build, so now let's move on to the minifigures. So here are the first two minifigures in the set. We have Iron Man and we have Scarlet Witch. I'm covering these two first because they both have like these big like blasts coming off of them, so I thought I might as well cover both of those aspects of them at once. So Iron Man's is not as complex, he just has like this blue splash piece at the very bottom. That's what that part looks like. It's come in a few sets before, and I guess here it's meant to represent like an explosion coming out of the thrusters, because he's like flying very quickly through the air. He also comes with two blue power blast pieces, but he's only holding one right now. These, of course, if you push down on the side of them, will shoot out. I stopped it there because obviously I don't want it flying across my room, but I'm sure you guys have seen how those worked in the past. With Wanda, however, she comes with like the full set of energy pieces in this pink color. This like part set's come in many different sets before in a few different colors. I think it's come in trans blue and trans orange before, and it is all new in trans pink in this set. The trans pink is new for this set and it looks amazing, but it doesn't really fit Wanda. I don't know why they went with trans pink and not trans red. My only thought is they didn't want kids using the trans red to represent blood, but trans pink is just not the color of her powers, so it's a little bit weird here. There is more to like the power burst pieces than just what you see on her right now, but here I'm just showcasing the main one. She has like these blasts of powers that engulf her hands, and she has beams shooting out the bottom of her feet, and then she has that same splash piece that Iron Man has, but in pink instead of blue. Yeah, it's interesting and definitely very, very cool. It just would have been a lot better if it was red instead of pink, because the pink just doesn't really fit her. With all of those removed though, now we can take a look at the actual minifigures. This Iron Man suit is pretty good. I really like the gold arms. Those are a fun and unique touch. He's got the actual helmet that flips up. I much prefer this to the helmet that just covers his entire face. I think this looks better and it's more fun for play. The torso is fairly detailed, but it's a pretty standard Iron Man suit design. It's got the gold, it's got the red, it's got the arc reactor in the center. As an accessory too, he also comes with the shield piece. Both of the parts on it are sticker, and you can imagine that that shield is actually like made from his suit. That's a fun inclusion and a nice translation of what actually happened in the actual movie. Really nice back torso print on this guy too. I love like the metallic silver and everything. I think that looks fantastic. And then coming to Wanda, she's okay. Wanda is one of my favorite MCU characters, but unfortunately this figure is definitely a little lacking. Unprinted legs are super, super lame. Not a fan of that at all. She should have at least had some sort of skirt piece around there, because as it stands, the unprinted legs just look super lame. The torso design is pretty good. The skin color on her chest is a little bit washed out. I'm not a huge fan of that. I wish it was printed on a little darker so it matched the color of her face a little bit better. And her face print, at least on this side of the head, is pretty good. I would have preferred it was an angry expression instead of a happy smile, but the red eyes look super, super cool. And this is a decent hair choice for her. Maybe not the best hair color for her, but the shaping on it at least is pretty nice. There's the back of her torso, which does look pretty good, and there's her alternate face, which I am not a fan of at all. Not an expression that I don't believe Wanda has ever made, especially not during Endgame. And yeah, it just doesn't seem like it fits her at all. I don't think that one's good in the slightest. You can also see Iron Man's face here. He does also come with an alternate hairpiece in this set, which is very appreciated. And then back around the front, you can see his full front face print. You can see he's got like this blue digital screen over his face to represent like how he's looking out of the Iron Man suit. I think that is an awesome print, especially when you have the helmet on and flipped up. Yeah, he looks really good. So as a whole, with this Iron Man figure, nothing like exceptional, but it's a pretty solid Iron Man. And Wanda could be a lot better, but I'm happy to just get Wanda at all. The one from the minifigure series is definitely a lot better, though. The next two figures in the set, we have Captain America and we have Thor. This suit for Cap is actually really good. It's very, very detailed. It's like black on top of dark blue. It might be a bit hard to see on camera because those are such similar colors, but yeah, if I like shine the light like that, you can see. Lots of very intricate like little dots and everything. Captures the suit really, really well. However, he suffers from the same thing many other LEGO Marvel figures suffer from, and that is no leg printing. Same thing with Thor, no leg printing on him either. But I mean, come on, man. Cap could have at least used like some dual molded boots or something. The legs just feel so out of place here. His accessories are, of course, his shield and Thor's hammer, and he has the newer molded Captain America mask. This is much better than the printed mask we've gotten in the past. And it allows for him to actually have face prints underneath, which I really like. Speaking of which, there's what his first one looks like. He's got that chin strap around the bottom. And then his alternate face, he's got a happy smile. I think that actually captures Chris Evans pretty well. It looks a lot like him. And just like Iron Man, he does come with this hairpiece in this set as well. There's a look at that back torso print too. Not as detailed as the front, but still pretty nice looking. Yeah, aside from the lack of leg printing, this is a very solid Cap figure. He definitely could have really used something in the legs, though. And then Thor is good. I like the new hair and face introduced for this wave. And the torso seems very monochrome, but I think it fits well enough. It does a pretty decent job of capturing the look of his outfit from the movie. The red cape looks really nice on him as well, and I like the gunmetal gray arms create some nice variation with the black of his torso. Again, some printing in the legs would have been very nice. I don't think it's as necessary, though, on Thor as it was on Cap. As an accessory, of course, he wields Stormbreaker. And with its hairpiece removed, you get a slightly better look at that face print. He looks very happy here. That might not fit Thor the best, but you know what? I like it. Especially because he has a very good alternate face where his eyes are like crackling with lightning. And if we flip his cape up, you could see the back of his torso print. Yeah, pretty much about as detailed as the front. Not Not a ton to say about it. As a whole, though, he is a really nice looking Thor figure. This is a really iconic version of this character, and I think LEGO did a pretty good job capturing it. So neither of these two are perfect, but they're both fairly solid. For the next full figure in this set, we have Black Panther. I'm gonna sound very redundant, but Black Panther is an amazing minifigure, except for the legs. Lack of leg printing here really hurts this guy, because the torso and head I think are better than they've ever been. I love like the purple energy running through, and he's got the necklace at the top right there. The face print looks amazing as well. This is a very good Black Panther, but it just doesn't look right to have this vibrant purple in the torso and then nothing at all in the legs. It doesn't have to be that detailed, but at least have some continuation of the purple. It just feels like such a cutoff. It doesn't work for me, and that's a real shame because this is an amazing figure otherwise. He's got the horns on the top of his head, of course, and then around the back everything looks amazing as well. It looks like he has even some writing on the back of his head. That is super cool looking. I love that. It's so intricate and detailed. Yeah, if this guy had leg printing, he would be pretty much a perfect minifigure, but without it, he's just alright. It also would have been nice if he came with an alternate head and hair piece of him unmasked, because both Cap and Iron Man in the set have ways to display them unmasked, so it would have been cool if Black Panther had that as well. It's not a huge deal, but it just would have been a nice touch. As a whole, though, I do really like this figure. The legs are just very disappointing to me. And then we also get miniature Ant-Man in this set. You actually get two of him because it is such a tiny piece that you get an extra, so that's very cool in case you lose one or if you just want to have two. And this is just a microfigure with printing on it. It's got a little Ant-Man mask, the torso, and even the legs are printed. It's kind of funny that the microfigure is leg printing, but other figures in the set don't. And I know that's because the torso and the legs are not different pieces on this guy, but regardless, I think it's a funny observation. But yeah, it's pretty cool the amount of detail they're able to capture in such a small scale. And it's a nice representation of Ant-Man's powers. I think it's really good overall. The silver of the head continues all the way around, and I don't have a ton else to say about him. We got a similar figure during Civil War, but it's cool to get a new tiny Ant-Man because it's a really good figure to have. I like it. And then here are the final two figures in this set. We have Thanos and we have a Chitauri. I'll cover the Chitauri first so I can get him out of the way. He is okay. He's a decent representation of how the Chitauri look in the movies, but he's very like undetailed overall. It would have been cool if he was like gunmetal or silver instead of just normal gray, but normal gray is just whatever. It looks fine. But this guy does just feel very generic. He comes with a stud shooter with a purple stud. Not too much else to say on him. There you can see his back torso print and his back head print. I like the gold printing on the back of his head. That's at least kind of cool, but I really just don't have much to say about him. He comes in quite a few sets this wave, and in all of them, he's just okay. It's fine for like an army, but he's not like an amazing figure by any means. This new Thanos Bigfig, though, is very interesting. So right off the bat, he uses an all-new Bigfig design that we've never seen before. His head is actually detachable. He has a normal minifigure neck at the top of his Bigfig body, and the head itself is actually its own part. It's essentially just a normal minifigure head, but bigger. That's really interesting, but allows him to actually turn his head on the figure, and I think that's super cool, and I cannot wait to see what other figures they do like this. The rest of the figure, though, does look very good. Lots of golden armor on him. Really love the detail of that. He is, of course, sleeveless, so he's got his big purple arms. And then for his accessories, he has these two big swords. The two separate swords can also be combined to make one giant double-bladed sword. I think this is more accurate to what he actually had in the movie, but I think it's cool that they give you two options if you want. Not a ton else to say on Thanos, but this is one of the best Bigfigs we've ever gotten, and I cannot wait to see what Bigfigs come next. Because the design of this guy is just awesome. I love the movable head. It allows for so much more personality, and it leads to so much potential for figures we can get in the future. Really love this guy. So, what are my overall thoughts on this set? Overall, I think this set is great for kids. For kids, I think this has everything. I wish a set like this existed when I was a kid, because you get so many different characters for a relatively cheap price. Like, 70 isn't cheap, but for the number of unique characters you get in this set, 70 is cheap, because normally LEGO would like to stretch those out across multiple sets. So getting Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Black Panther, and Ant-Man, and Thanos all in one set, pretty incredible. Oh, Scarlet Witch as well, I keep forgetting. Like, there's so many characters here for only $70. That's pretty impressive. The build of the set is okay. For kids, very fun. Lots of different things to play with. For older collectors, it's definitely very kiddie, very simple, and there's a lot of things that aren't necessarily movie accurate that are made just to be more fun. So for that reason, if you're an older collector, I don't think you need it. Or if you do get it, you probably only want it for the minifigures. You might want to, like, get rid of the rest of the build later on. That being said, it's probably prettier than the previous Avengers compound we got, so it's still decent. The Ant-Man truck, though, is a really awesome inclusion, but of course, the highlight here is for sure the minifigures. All the new minifigures are amazing. Many of them flawed, they could use leg printing and whatnot, but the new Thanos, the new Wanda, the new Black Panther, Thor, Cap, Iron Man, it's so cool just to get them all in one place. So yes, overall, I would recommend this set. The price is about right for this one. If it was cheaper, it would be a really good set. If it was more expensive, probably be less worth it, but I do feel like this is overall worth the price. It's just not an amazing deal. If you see this on sale, though, it's definitely worth that price, so I'd highly recommend you pick it up then. But yeah, overall, for me, I'm very satisfied with this set, but I know it's probably not for everybody. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think of this set in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please just like, subscribe if you're new. I do LEGO videos like this almost every day, so if you subscribe, you'll be the first to see them. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!